All right. I'm a Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Judah, the nation of Israel, so-called African American Negro. And this lesson is based on Revelations 9, the full understanding of Revelations 9. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And what's that star is energy. This that star is energy. This is second Esdras. Precept must be upon precept, line upon line. This second Esdras 15 and second Esdras 15 and 35. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. So that's talking about the war that's gonna take place in that's talking about them nuclear missiles that's gonna take place in that's coming from Iran upon Israel and Assyria, and upon the seacoast of the borders of Israel. And this star is talking about missiles. So that this star that fell to the earth in Revelations 9 is talking about energy, because that's what fire is. I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, which is energy. The Most High sent forth energy of this energy of this war, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. So energy and key, the Lord said to Peter, you shall have the key of the kingdom of the keys of King of David, the key of David, which is the main entrance to the kingdom of heaven. So the key of the bottomless pit, and the bottomless pit is the never-ending grave. The bottomless pit, a pit that's bottomless, is a never-ending grave. This Proverbs 30. The horse leech have two daughters, 30 and 15, crying, give, give. There are three things that are never satisfied, yet four. Say not, it is enough. The grave and the barren womb, the earth that is not filled with water, and the fire that said not, it is enough. So the grave, the never-ending grave, that's what the bottomless pit is. So, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. So this energy was given the main entrance to the grave. So this energy was given the main entrance to the grave. This energy that is put forth in the earth is given the way to the grave. This energy is for to turn to the grave, to turn the ways of what is going to target to the grave. And he opened the bottomless pit, right? And he opened the main entrance. He opened it up, and there rose a smoke out of the pit, right there. This is talking about World War I and World War II. And he opened the bottomless pit, the never-ending grave, and there rose a smoke out of the pit. And that smoke is talking about during the World War I and World War II, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit, right? So this talking about the destruction of World War I and World War II, and there came out the smoke, locusts upon the earth. Locusts is talking about the World War I fighter jets and World War II fighter jets. That's the locusts. And unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power, right? And unto them planes was given in power, which is energy, for as the scorpions sting, as they have power. They sting when they sting you. They scorpions clap on to you and they sting. And that's what the fighter jets, World War I fighter jets and World War II fighter jets had. They had uh 50 caliber guns on the back of the World War One fighter jet and the World War Two fighter jets, which was the World War One fighter jets. They had plant 50 caliber guns on them on the planes, shooting at their enemies, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, which have not, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth. Right? Why shouldn't they hurt the grass of the earth? Because they had 50 caliber weapons, and neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Right? Because they was in World War One and World War Two, and they was getting killed by these World War One fighter jets. They was fighting, and when it was World War Two was Italy and America and Russia against Japan and the Nazis in Germany and yeah, against that, and they was killing them, and they was fighting in World War Two, and they had those calibers. So that's why they ain't destroyed no green grass, because they was fighting direct war against men and not nuclear war. They was fighting with artillery to target those men, and they had not the seals of God in their foreheads, because because the 144,000 that's gonna be sealed with the seal of the Most High, they gonna fight war too. That's why I said they shall be as mighty men. Ephraim shall be mighty men, and the governors of Judah shall be a torch amongst the hearth. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And 5 represents power, energy. So energy, they should be put torment of energy months to these men. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion. Right? It stung them when he strike at a man. Right? It stung them. It was shooting their body pieces apart, shooting their legs off in World War One and World War Two. Nazis and World War Two, they were shooting off their legs, so it stung them. And in those days, and they was in pits, and they was shooting at them and stuff. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Right? Men's was dying from intoxication in World War II and World War I, being in the pits with going against Nazi American troops and Nazi troops and Italy troops and Russian troops. They was dying from torments, from aromas, from the feces and aromas, and they desired to die from pain, from agony pain. And the shapes of the locusts were like the horse. Right? Horses, that was the strength. A horse represents strength. The Lord said he taketh not desire in the strength of the legs of horses. So they went forth. They went straight forth. Can you turn the horse away in the day of battle? Prepare unto battle. Right? They went straight forth. That's what the World War One and World War Two fighter jets, they went forth to war. And on their heads were crowns like gold. Right? And that's the crowns of the mans that had the head crown on their head. They had crowns on them, and their faces were the faces of men. Right? And their faces were as the faces of men, because men was flying in these jets. Men was flying in them jets, and they had hair as the hair of women. Right? Their wings had the extension of their body. Of the jets had wings. These World War One jets and World War Two, and they had hair as the hair of women, and hair of women meaning long. And Paul said, "What? Is it not for?" He said, the extension of women. Is it not? He said, "What? For women to have." Right? He said, is it not for women to have he says, is it not for women to have long hair, and a man, because the glory of the woman is her hair. The glory of a woman is her hair. So, and they had hair as it were of, and they had hair as the hair of women. So they had long extension of their wings, and that's what women call, certain women, black women, they call extensions, which is hair that they add to their hair, and they call it extensions. And that's what the wings of them, and their teeth were the teeth of lions, because they spray painted on the fighter jets lions teeth, different teeth. They spray painted on the top part of the fighter jet's teeth, lion like shark teeth. And they had breastplates, as it were, breastplates of iron, right? Because they was made out of iron, like they was made out of different materials, out of brass and different materials. And the sound of their wings, that's how you know it's talking about their wings. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle, right? Like, and that's how their wings sound. And they had tails like unto scorpions, right? And their tails is that extent that their 50 caliber artillery that's coming off the fighter jet. And there were stings in their tails, right? And there were stings in their tails. That's how it's talking about, there's stings in their tail, right? And that's what sting, that's what a bullet, it come and shoot you. It shoots you and it stings from you being shot. And their power was to hurt men 5 months, right? And then their power was to hurt men energy months, to put energy to months by them hurting them. That's what that's mean. 5 represent power. So power months. However many months that was through World War I and World War II. And they had a king over them, which is in the angel, which is the angel, which he make his ministers, his angels ministering spirits. He make it his angels ministering spirits. So there's an energy. And the king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, right? The bottomless pit, a message to the bottomless pit, energy of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue have his name Apollyon, which means death. So they had the entrance into death, this energy. The Most High said every spirit is created for vengeance, and in their fury lay on sore strokes, and they appease the wrath of him that made them. That's Ecclesiastes 29:38. One war was past, and behold, there come 2 more wars hereafter. That's how you know it's talking about World War I. That's World War I and World War II. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God. And the 4 horns is 4 strengths going to the 4 corners of the earth, standing before the altar of the Most High, which is his sacrifice, which is before God, saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great rivers Euphrates. And that's energies. Lose the 4 energy, the energy that's going to go throughout the 4 corners of the earth, which is to cause World War III, which is starting from the great river Euphrates, which is over there in the Middle East by in Assyria, which is going to gather the kings of the east, which is Persia and Saudi Arabia, to Assyria to fight this war, to start and fight the last ultimate war. And the 4 angels will lose, which will prepare for an hour, right? And the 4 angels will lose, which will prepare for an hour. And that's talking about the 6th, an hour, a day, a month, a year, and a year for to slay the 3rd part of men. And that's talking about this war that's been going on for 6 to 7 years in Syria. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 thousands, right? That's 200 million, the horsemen. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 thousand. That's talking about the angels that's going to lead these missiles throughout the world. That's going to lead the missiles that's going to be spoken of. The angels going to, the scriptures tell you that in Isaiah 30 and 30, Isaiah 30 and 31, Isaiah 30, just Isaiah 30 and 31. And Yahweh shall cause his glorious voice to be heard. That's talking about he commanding his power, and shall show the lightning down of his arm with indignation of his anger, and with the flame of devouring fire, with scattering tempests and hailstones. Right, that's talking about the Most High sending the angels and the missiles going off. So that's what the Lord talking about. And I heard the number of them, right? And I heard the number of the army of the horsemen, because that's the army of the horsemen is those missiles is of God. He coming with his chariots and with fire. This Isaiah 66 and 15. Isaiah 66 and 15. Isaiah 66 verse 15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, right? With fire, he'll consuming fire. That's his missiles. And with his chariots like a whirlwind, right? And with his chariots. So the chariot is going to lead the fire, and to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So the angels is the army of the horsemen who are going to lead the missiles to America from Russia, India, and China, and NATO upon America. So that's what it said. And I heard, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which they going to gather up the remnant and the elect, because that's what he going to give his angels with a great sound. They should gather up his elect and the remnant from the four corners of the earth. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision. Now the horses, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. And that's talking about the head with a TNT at, because that's where the fierceness of a lion head, that's where his force comes from. And that's talking about ICM, nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile, the front part of the intercontinental ballistic missile, which is where a TNT at, where the force of the lion mouth come, and out of their mouths issue fire, right, and smoke and brimstone. That's from the force of the intercontinental ballistic missiles. By these was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issue out of their mouth. And the third part of man is a portion of man, a percentage of man that's going to be killed through these thermonuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles that's going to be upon America and upon China and upon China and America. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, right? Because that's where the missile get powered at, from the tail. Fire shoot out the tail, out the bottom of the missile. For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt, right? With the fire and the TNT, that do hurt. That's the power. That's what a bomb explosive at. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murderers, nor of their sorcerers, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. And that's the children of Israel. They not going to repent from the remission of their sins. That's not going to be burned by them thermonuclear missiles. That's going to be in UK, Hawaii, and Africa, and the Middle East, and they not gonna repent from them and they gonna die, according to Jeremiah 51 and 19, where the Lord said, for with thee I will break in man peace, man and woman. I will make thee fishers, and fishers shall become hunters and hunt, and they shall hunt them. And with that, all praise on this glory. That's Revelation 9. Shalom.